Okay, folks, I think let's get moving. So welcome everybody. How's it, Alex? I haven't seen you for a little while. Celeste, good morning. I think you new with us this morning, so welcome on board. I see Eugene has
Thank
just
you.
popped on. Hi, Celeste.
How's it going, everyone?
Hi.
Good. Right. Okay, so not sure where you want to kick off. Celeste, perhaps we kick off with you, I think, because you're the newbie. Who invited you on this morning?
I was invited by Dawn.
Okay, fantastic, great. So what did Dawn tell you about the trade fair and about us, and what have you managed to find out since she invited you?
Well, to be honest, I haven't looked into anything she told me, but she did mention to me how amazing this virtual platform was, and we've done quite a few virtual events for our clients, so I'm quite intrigued to find out a bit more.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're quite intrigued to find out about what you've done as well, so that could be an interesting discussion. So fantastic, welcome on board.
Thank you.
And yeah, so let's maybe just pop across to Dawn and Alex.
Morning.
So tell us, why did you invite Celeste, Dawn?
Celeste is a very dynamic person. She's been in the marketing industry and the exhibition industries for many, many years. I've known her for, gosh, Celeste, it must be 20 years at least, I'm sure, Celeste.
It's more than 20 years, Dawn.
Oh, really? Yeah. You see, the time goes too quick, but yeah, Celeste has got an amazing client base. She's dealt with a lot of the bigger corporates and does eventing and a number of things. So I did discuss with her yesterday about this exciting platform, giving everyone an opportunity to promote their business and services at a time where most people are at a loss now. So I did tell her how quickly we put this virtual trade fair together, which was incredible, and very excited to be part of this. And then I also explained to her, not only can she give her client base an opportunity to promote their businesses, but she can become a promoter and earn a 15% commission, which, you know, we're working off the Cricket platform, which is a reliable source. So I think that's why Celeste is also excited, because she now knows that exhibitions are not going to happen for the foreseeable future, even into next year. So it's also going to give her opportunity to also offer her clients another basis of doing business.
Right, fantastic. Thanks, Dawn. Yeah, so Celeste, let's switch back to you and just find out a bit more about. You said you've already done some virtual events, so I'd love to hear about your experience there and what you've actually done, and if you've got any questions for us. Happy to take them and see if we can help answer those questions.
So we have done, I think we've done 9 virtual events since the lockdown started. And the biggest one that we did was a conference that we ran for the developer community, which is called DevConf. And that was, we normally run the event in Johannesburg for about 800 people and in Cape Town for about 400 people. And we had to basically convert it into a virtual event within a 2-week period. And we combined it into one event for a full day. And it included about 40 speakers, and we actually ended up having about 930 people who registered for the event. And the conference went on throughout the day. We had 6 tracks running at a time. And also we managed to retain our sponsors. They continue to support the virtual event. We did have to refund some of our sponsors some money where we could, in terms of like hard costs. So where we didn't have to set up an actual, you know, stand for them, we were able to reimburse those costs. The venues were also absolutely amazing in terms of refunding full costs to us. And that allowed us, you know, to keep some money that we could refund to some of the sponsors and the delegates who asked for refunds. It was a paid for event, and we were quite pleasantly surprised at how few people actually asked for a refund. The tickets are about 3,000 Rand, and hardly anybody actually asked for a refund. And we had excellent feedback. In fact, some people were saying, oh, let's do the event like this every year. So I think what it showed us is that it was possible, and that, you know, going forward, we will probably move to what I'm sure you all know the term a hybrid event. So in future, we'd have the in-person event and then be able to offer live streaming sessions to people who can't necessarily make it, or don't want to travel anymore because of, you know, concerns around that, or even have the budget to be able to travel to the event. And then we've done, the rest of the events that we've done have been smaller events, but more like a webinar where there's been a presenter presenting. The most successful ones have been panel discussions. We actually sponsored a webinar a week or so ago for AXO, the Association of African Exhibition Organizers. And we had an 80%, or the number of people who registered, 80% of them actually participated in the event, which is, you know, unheard of. We always have sometimes a 35% or 50% no shows. So they have all been very, very successful. Yeah, and now we've worked on a proposal for an exhibition that's supposed to be taking place in September. So we've done quite a bit of research on the various platforms that we can offer to our clients. So we're finding that there's kind of a lull there seems to be a lull at the moment of events that are happening post-September, what they really want to do. But I think in the next, you know, when we go maybe down to level 3, more of our clients are going to start saying, for events after September, we need to start planning for them as virtual events.
Okay, well, that sounds like you've got some fantastic experience there in terms of those kind of webinar environments and conference type environments, which is absolutely great. So, yeah, very, very interested to hear that. I mean, I see Trevor's just asked a question now. Where do you see the industry, the sort of events and trade fair type industry, you know, from your experience now? Where are you seeing it at the moment? I mean, you spoke about the hybrid, you know, the hybrid opportunities, which is, we believe, is an absolute, you know, fact that's going to happen in the way forward. But when is the big question. You're also talking about, you know, perhaps, you know, stage 3 and as far ahead as September. So it'd be interesting to hear what your insights are.
Yeah, to be honest, my personal opinion is that people are going to be so hungry to go back to events. You're going to get the group of people who are so cautious and are so scared. But I honestly think that the venues and the hotels, they also need to make a living. They're going to do everything that they can to make those venues safe. They're going to comply with all of the regulations that they have to. Nothing beats in-person events. It won't ever be replaced. And that's why the move to a hybrid event is going to be a success for everybody. People are hungry to interact with each other. You know, even all these, yes, the webinars and the virtual events, they have a huge place, and they are very successful for what we've seen. But I can tell you now, people are going to start getting jaded with this whole virtual connection. That's my personal opinion. And I think that smaller events will start happening towards the end of this year, and that, you know, some of the bigger events will come back as normal from 2021. I mean, even AFRICOM, for example, they in November at Cape Town Convention Centre, it's a massive event, and all of their communication is running the event as per usual. They haven't made any announcements yet. So I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen, but in my view, in-person events cannot, you know, you can't compete with them, and people, I think, are going to start being hungry to get back. They might just run in slightly different format. Maybe, you know, maybe if it's a 2-day event, maybe they'll restrict the number of people that will come on each day. Maybe it'll just be amending your agenda for an event. But I do think in-person events will come back, and I'm hoping sooner rather than later, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's great insight. So let's talk about the virtual Trade Fair.africa and you know, what your interest might be in us, and what your thoughts are around what we put together so far, and what you know and what you don't know, I suppose. so any questions that you might have about what we're doing, but be interested to hear your thoughts on it as well.
Sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't.
You lose me there. Yeah, I was just saying, maybe we must just switch back. Really appreciate your insights and your thoughts there, but let's switch back to the virtual Trade Fair.africa. And obviously Dawn has invited you along. You said you haven't really gone into any of the background, but so do you have any specific thoughts or questions on what we're doing here?
I would just like to see what it offers, and if it's a platform that we can offer to our clients for if they want to run a virtual exhibition.
Okay. All right, great. Well, we'll dig into those details a little bit. I'd just like to pop across to some of the other folk that have joined us as well, and just see. I think Stella, I'm not sure if you've been on this particular platform for a while, but we obviously know you from other platforms. I think if you're with us, have you got any thoughts or questions on the virtual trade fair as we stand now?
Thank you, Ivan. Morning, everybody. So I've actually just joined because I've invited someone else who might be interested. So I'm just waiting for him to come online. I know he was having overlaps with another meeting. His name is Ian McCloy. So we'll just see.
Connected with him yesterday on something different, so it'd be interesting to get it on board. Okay, that's great. Thanks, Stella. Okay, let's head across to Roger. Roger, you were with us yesterday, and what are your thoughts since that session, and any additional questions, comments for this morning?
So something that Celeste brought up is very eye-opening. Something that you mentioned was a hybrid event. So I personally agree with what she's saying, that you cannot replace a lot of the things that happens at an actual event. But where we can offer, I believe, value for product is basically for those people who cannot attend those certain events, being large distances and obviously cross borders and over oceans. Not only that but a follow-up. I've written down here in my notes a follow-up event. So basically you have your event, and then maybe 2 or 3 days afterwards you have a virtual event which happens after an event. So you can not only tackle those events that don't want to actually have a physical area to go to, but an online platform, but you can also connect with those, like, for example, electromining, which is a physical place that you're going to go to have an event. But now you can supply a follow-up event for them. And you'll most probably find that a lot of people who don't attend the actual show can go to this event, and you will still target a lot of people. I know in certain promotional industries and stuff like that, they don't send their entire staff to these events, but a lot of them need to be at them. So where a select few go to an actual event, you have the rest staying behind. But if they can attend a virtual event, then they're getting value for money, and they're getting the same amount of inputs as what the other people would do at an actual event.
Yeah, no, I think it's 100%. Yeah, 100% on the money, and then we definitely see that. I think the beauty of the hybrid approach, as we're calling it here, is the cross pollination of potential customers as well. So in a physical event, like you say, there's a limited number of feet that are actually going to walk through the door. Whereas you get it into the virtual space, the feet that can actually attend is unlimited. I think there's definitely a double benefit there. Okay, great. Eugene, any additional thoughts or questions from your side this morning?
Not really. There was one thing that I thought about last night, and I just wanted to find out before next month's event, the 19th to 22nd of June. Would we have like access to some kind of a mock-up or like dummy trial version of it, so we can show our clients potentially this is what the show is actually going to look like? Because I know that we've got that YouTube video, which is really awesome, and it's answered, it was able to answer a lot of questions, but just something that is in a work in progress almost, but just on a smaller scale. Will something like that be available?
Absolutely, Eugene. Yeah, and if you go to virtualtradefair.africa on the website itself, you can start to navigate around. At the moment, it's open as we're populating and developing. So you can actually start to see some of the vendors that are coming on board, some of the products, some of the look and feel. As I said, it is a developing environment, so it'll grow and morph and change as we get closer and closer to the event, but it's already there. It's already navigable. You can click through on the different options and buttons and go and see the different areas as they are currently. But it's definitely, as I say, something that's in the process of being rolled out. So just be aware and make sure when you talk to people, it's obviously not a complete environment because the show will only be formally launched on the 19th, but it is a developing environment where people can actually see what's going on. So I see Celeste has put something. No, Celeste, that's not the right website. It's virtualtradefair.africa. So if you just go straight to virtualtradefair.africa in your browser, that is us. You can actually see in that.
Thanks, got it.
Yeah, so that's it's one word URL, no spaces, no hyphens. So just virtual trade fair, one word .africa is where you can go and see the platform as it's starting to roll out. Okay, so maybe let's just chat for the benefit of Celeste and perhaps Stella a little bit about exactly what it's going to entail and how we see it rolling out. So in essence, there's a number of different elements. Celeste, you've spoken about speakers. That's something we definitely have a keen focus on. So we're looking to have 32 speakers at least over the 4 days. So one on the hour, every hour on different topics. We were speaking to somebody from the Israeli Trade Mission this morning who is an expert in all things digital security and the like. And he's given us some great input and will be one of the speakers that will be talking on the whole issues of cyber security and cyber crime, but from a business perspective, from a layman's perspective, not from a technical point of view. So I think that'll provide a lot of good value for people, and there are going to be many other topics and themes that we'll address during the 4 days. So hopefully a lot of quality presentations and talks that will be available both live and in a recorded format. So that's the first element. The second is obviously the trade fair itself, where exhibitors will have their own booths, which can be customized and set up according to their specific requirements. I can get Alex to talk a bit about how that'll all work in a moment or two. So there's the booth environment, there's your basic e-commerce shop environment where you list your products and services and any special deals that you might have specifically for the trade fair. So that's a fully e-commerce enabled setup there. There's a networking lounge where people can come together and exchange thoughts and ideas. There's going to be a WhatsApp group specifically centered around the trade fair, so people can talk about what they've seen and what's happening and what's available, and encourage people to go to the different exhibits and the like. What else is there? Yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's those are the key elements. But so if you go to the site and start to click through, you'll see it starting to unfold in different ways. So perhaps Alex, if I can come across to you, you can talk a bit more about how the virtual stands and booths will actually operate.
Sure. So yeah, we've got the 3D virtual representation of the physical stands, except now we're not constrained by gravity anymore, which is great. So the designs can actually be anything that we want. We've got a certain amount of packages, predefined ones that we have actually designed up for people. When people do sign up as an exhibitor, they get the option of 2 different stands with options of changing. Obviously, they're putting their logo on, all the hotspots, so the clickable links on the actual graphic itself. They will take them either to a YouTube channel, through to the networking lounge where this person's doing a presentation, whatever the case is. We'll put the hotspots to link to whatever they want. Then we've actually got ourselves, we're one of the people that already set up our online store on the actual site, And we actually offer then exhibitors a chance to customize the stands a lot further. So we've got 3 packages on there that people can choose 3 predefined color options on there, as well as a 4th option on the predefined ones, which is completely customizing their stand. So we've got those options on there, and yeah, I pretty much will be doing all the graphics and everything on there, just laying it all out for everyone and connecting it all up. So it's just a matter of getting the people to sign up, and I'll sort them all out.
Great, thanks, Alex. And just for your information, Alex, Roger's also a 3D designer, so we said to him, you know, there's an opportunity there for him to offer customized services for people that might want to take their stands to the next level. And so yeah, just to know that there's an extra resource on hand here, so it's not going to all fall on your shoulders if the dam walls sort of break here, and we suddenly get a flood of folks coming through to the show and looking to exhibit. So yeah, okay, so let's go across to Irene. Any thoughts from your side? Irene, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Celeste, just a quick question from our side. You said the conference that you ran was called the DevCon. Is that correct?
Yes, DevConf, yeah.
Okay, and is that spelled DEAF?
DEVCONF.
DEVCONF. And is that still available online? Have you guys still got it up?
Yes, it is. I can send you the link if you want.
Yeah, I'd just be curious to see how they put that together. Just out of interest sake, if you wouldn't mind, please, Celeste.
Sure.
You could just post it on the chat group. That would be great. I think that's all from me, Arvin.
Okay, great. Thanks, Irene. Trevor, let's come across to you.
Thanks, Ivan, and hi, Celeste. I've just had a look at you. You are Fizz Promotions, is that correct?
We lost
Fizz Marketing. Fizz Promotions is a sister company.
Right, okay, so I just caught that. And I see you're also based in Lone Hill.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, it's a couple of problem children in Lone Hill. We're trying to get rid of them. I'm just down the road from the copy myself. So obviously, we're trying to band this thing together here, Dawn, is that correct? And keeping it together in Lone Hill. Look, you know, I've just updated the about information, and just some of the things, Celeste, that you brought up, this hybrid approach. I just, to give you a bit of background, and sorry, my name is Trevor Nell, Celeste, we haven't met. I'm the CEO of Four West Community Chamber of Commerce. And in fact, Dawn and Alex and all of us prior to lockdown were getting together to start setting up exhibitions here for retail malls. And then suddenly this lockdown hit. And to the credit of Dawn and Alex and Irene, and a couple of the chamber members, within 21 days, this particular platform got off the ground. And then from there, we've been talking about it as a blended approach. And I heard you talking hybrid. And I absolutely agree with you. I've heard some people turning around and saying this is the death of the physical industry. I don't for one moment think that is it, but I think what has happened in lockdown is that suddenly people have realized that they've been missing a trick, and that is in virtual. And I think somehow we're going to see a movement between those that are guaranteed to get back into the physical exhibition space as quickly as possible, as you correctly say. There are hotels, there are conference venues. They're not going to go out of business. They're going to fight this thing tooth and nail, and they're going to make certain that their conferences are bigger and better than ever. But I think the virtual component is now going to play a part. And what we're looking to do with this little virtual trade fair is to turn around and say, okay, how do we come up with something here that is simple for people to replicate what would happen in that particular industry, that is affordable and that is cost effective. So you know, when I have a look at where you are positioned, I think from a price perspective, we are positioned at the lower end that you would never ever understand, because I think you are probably out there selling at quite high price levels, and that's where we'd like to see the industry get back to. But in the meantime, how do we allow people like yourself to come and play around on this virtual trade fair platform, and just bring your skill and expertise on board, and then make it your own? So that's what we've actually developed from the Chamber perspective, a basic platform to allow the skills of other entrepreneurs like the Rogers, Eugene's, Dawn, Alex, Irene, just to jump on board and add your own mix into it and make it yours. So that's the invitation that really we're extending from the Chamber perspective. Ivan, I don't know if you'd like to add to that, also based on your talking to the Israeli Chamber of Commerce, etc. Today.
Yeah, Trevor, I think you've encapsulated it nicely, and you know, I think it's one of the philosophies of the Chamber is to be open to cooperation, collaboration, joint ventures, strategic alliances. So you know, we look for a win-win situation in any business deal that we get involved in. So there's certainly not looking to exclude people or be exclusive in any format here, but rather to be inclusive and try and accommodate. You know, accommodate people with different skills, different interests, different appetites for getting involved. So yeah, we'd love to see people chuck their hat in the ring with us and see what we can actually turn this thing into, because we believe it's got legs. Again, for Stella and Celeste, perhaps I think the other folk were on the call the other day. You know, we're looking to take this well beyond the borders of South Africa and Africa. We're communicating with international business networks and business networkers to see how we can get this out to the rest of the world. And my chat with the Israeli Trade Mission this morning was just one of those elements. So you know, they've got quite a big international network which they're going to be reaching out to and you know, putting our trade show in front of their networks as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So we believe there's a huge opportunity for local businesses here to jump on board, but as well as international businesses, and as I said earlier, to cross-pollinate you know, each other's databases by being visible in a common environment. So we think it's a win-win for everybody, and we certainly hope to, you know, get people on board who think in the same manner. Yeah. I think that's my little bit. Maybe what we can do is just, we're at the bottom of the hour now again, so time flies when you're having fun. I'd just like to, just a quick whip around the group, just maybe one or two last comments, and then we'll end off for this morning. But yeah, we're back here every day from 12 to 12:30 to pick up on, you know, any other discussions or any other questions that may have arisen since the previous session. So let me start back with you, Celeste. Any final thoughts from your side before we wrap up?
Sorry, mine's not a final thought. I just have a quick question. Was this going to be an in-person event, or has it been an in-person event? And then also, how are you going to be marketing this virtual trade fair? Okay, so it sort of was born out of the fact that we were looking to do a physical event just prior to lockdown. It wasn't going to be called Virtual Trade Fair.africa. It was just going to be a four-ways trade fair around the Fourways Chamber and around the Fourways Mall. But obviously, when lockdown happened, that became you know, a non-starter for now at least. So okay, we got together at the start of lockdown. We put together this concept, pulled it together, and laid it out in you know, in the first 21 days of lockdown, and put the platform together. So you know, that's where it was sort of spawned from. Marketing at the moment, we're going out on, you know, all the usual social media channels. We're looking to leverage you know, whatever networks people have and you know, out there, and then we're also looking for exhibitors, obviously, to talk to their own databases. So anybody who comes on as an exhibitor gets 250 free guest invites.
it's an effective value of about 37,500 Rand in terms of guest invites, because our full ticket price for guests is 150 Rand for the 4 days. So we're going to be giving all exhibitors that ability to get to their databases as well. So those are the key elements in terms of marketing. Because we're effectively a startup in this environment, we don't have big budgets, so we're going to go organic on social media as best as we can at this stage of the game, and see how it takes us from there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Good. Eugene, any final thoughts from your side?
Nothing at the moment, Sam. All good.
Great. Thanks, Eugene. I see Ian's just come on board. Ian, welcome. You've come on in the final sort of 30 seconds of the session, so nice to see you on board. And maybe you want to just quickly introduce yourself, and then we can just say hi and find out. I believe Stella invited you, so welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, Ivan. I found you guys through Stella, and I thought, this is the world of networking now, and the more we can do virtually, the better. So I'm from the UJ Center for Entrepreneurship. We work primarily with small, emerging, startup type businesses. Once they get to about 10 million Rand a year turnover, we then move them from our center to the Johannesburg Business School, which is the newest business school in town, with a very Afrocentric approach. So I like the graphic behind you, Ivan. So I think let's continue the discussion. Fantastic. I think we've got Ivan on Wednesday tomorrow.
That's right.
So introduce you to our network. I mean, feel free to punt the event a little bit. That's all okay, and leave some links and so on.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the invite, Ian. I appreciate that. And just to let you folk know, so Ian came across us via Stella, as he mentioned, and invited me to be on the panel for an e-commerce webinar tomorrow, 10 to 11:30, Ian, if I'm correct.
Correct, yeah.
And then they're going to be discussing things e-commerce to their business database, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So really appreciate that invite, and I've also invited Gavin on. You got those details, Ian?
Yeah, I'll just put him onto the panelist WhatsApp a little bit later on.
Fantastic. So
we'll chat earlier tomorrow just to get ourselves on the same page there.
Super. So looking forward to that one. So and I think again, that's Celeste. You asked the question: how are we marketing? This is how we're doing. We, as Ian said, it's all about networking these days. Let's get onto whatever networks and panels and discussions we can, and share freely. I think it's the way to go for the future. Right. So Roger, any final thoughts from your side?
I just want to chat about what Eugene said about just the walkthrough. Yeah, if we can just get a rough understanding or just something that we can look through, like maybe presently or just in a few days, of how it will work, then we can market it better. We can promote it better to people who want to be a part of it. That's what I want to say from my side.
Okay. Great, fantastic, thanks. So you've got the basic presentation. I think that was put together just in terms of the initial. Yeah, okay. You can definitely look at that. Right. Any final thoughts from Dawn, Alex?
Just a quick one, Ivan. I just wanted to let Celeste know that the guest speakers can come on free of charge, promote their own businesses. So they can go to the link and just register there. So it's giving them the opportunity to promote their business as well. And the costing side, Celeste, just very quickly, the early bird special for a 4-day exhibition is 7,500 Rand, which is, as you know, is nothing at all. And once they've exhibited on that platform, on the virtual mall, the virtual expo, they can move their setup to a virtual mall. With 13,500 Rand for a whole year, they can have their presence on the virtual mall as well. So there's a huge amount of benefit from this. So not only will they be on the expo, and they'll also have a mall presence as well.
Great, fantastic, Dawn. And if I can just
Thanks, Dawn.
Opportunity just to expand that a little bit further, because I think there's, as Dawn says, there's massive value in that. But basically, at the 7,500 early bird special for the trade fair, you also get a full 12-month basic membership to the Community Chamber of Commerce, which has massive value as well. And if you go for the full package, which is the 13,500 Rand package for the trade fair and the virtual mall for 12 months, you then also get a premium membership at the chambership at the chamber for a full year, which is huge value, and Dawn hopefully can attest to that, Dawn. So as one of our premium members, so there's bundles of value in these packages, and that's not even to mention the 37,500 Rands worth of guest invites that we're offering exhibitors to go to market to their databases to invite them in free of charge. So just to encapsulate that for everybody. Great. All right, folks, I think that's probably us for today. Again, welcome back at 12 tomorrow if you want to join us again, chat more. If you want to review some of the chats, we're on YouTube. You can find us at virtualtradefair.africa on YouTube as well. I'll put all of these discussions up there, during the course of the day after each session. So thanks for your participation, and yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow again. Go well.
Thank you.